Coworkers aren't your friends. They're your family. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've gotten that comment on this video. And there's just so much wrong with that statement right there. And in this video, we're going to unpack it. Spoiler alert, work family is a lie. And just like how in general, coworkers are not your friends, coworkers are not your family. Today I'm gonna break down why this isn't just a statement that shows no work-life boundaries whatsoever. It can also be the foundation of a toxic workplace and create a downright dangerous work environment. If you are here for this rant, tap that like button, maybe get yourself a coffee, and let's get into it. To start us off, I have to confess something. Your work might just be exactly like a family. When a company says, "We're like a family here," they might not be lying. What they're omitting from that statement is what kind of family they really are. When you hear the word family, an image immediately springs to mind. It probably looks a little something like this: a family who is happy, cohesive, and definitely has positive and productive relationships with each other. That's exactly what the whole "we're a family at this company" thing wants you to think your work family is going to be like. However, that might not be the type of family that they are. They might even be a toxic AF family, or at minimum, the slightly dysfunctional, constantly driving you up the wall kind of family. You know, the kind that a lot of people have. So I will give the work family myth this one, because it really comes down to an expectations versus reality thing. And really, they're probably not being totally deceptive when they're saying work family, because like many families, the image that you see projected outside does not reflect what your experience is going to be inside. However, we need to dig deeper into why the work family lie is so damaging and even dangerous. Let's start with the culture that the work family promotes. At the top level, framing your coworkers as your family and the relationship that you have with your company as family has advantages for your company. Why? Because you would do anything for family. For example, if your sister calls you in crisis at 2 a.m., you are on the phone brainstorming solutions. Your cousin's moving to a new 5th-story walk-up, you're gonna be climbing some stairs this weekend. So naturally, if your work family needs help, you're gonna pitch in, right? It doesn't matter that you work in sales, the customer support team has been slammed. And because we're a work family, we're all rolling up our sleeves and putting in extra time to help them get through those cases. Have yet another after-hours team event? Well, it's because your work family needs time together to bond. Getting a little too deep and definitely crossing the personal, professional, work-life boundaries that you like to have when it comes to conversations with coworkers? Well, families share, right? And perhaps this does build closeness and camaraderie. Maybe this is even the best thing about working for your company. But that's the best case scenario. And in most cases, this is a lazy way of contriving workplace culture where the culture doesn't exist otherwise. If you think it's real, observe what happens when someone leaves and put a pin in that. We're coming back to that later. But in the worst case scenario, this work family thing enables toxic behaviors at work. Heck, these toxic behaviors are borrowed from toxic families. For instance, perhaps your work family is constantly encroaching in your work-life boundaries, all in the name of "we're a family here." But this has real implications to your overall wellness, job satisfaction, and happiness. Or maybe there's a culture of disrespect at work, and the work family lie is covering it up. Your coworkers are insulting each other, and you. And it's being explained away by, "this is just how a work family is." P.S. If you're dealing with insults at work, that is a video that I have coming up, so if you aren't already, consider subscribing if you want to see that one. At this point, you might be thinking, "Jennifer, that's not so bad. I mean, insults happen. Work-life boundaries get stomped on." However, the toxic behaviors that the work family lie allows can be much more corrosive than what's just really a bad workplace behavior. For example, I can't tell you the number of times that I've heard "we're a family here" used in conjunction with gaslighting in a toxic workplace, where bullying and harassment is being excused. "We're like a family here. That's just how we are." Oh, it's just a joke. We're like family here. We like to have fun. FYI, bullying and harassment, not fun. And it gets even worse. Oh, Ted in accounting, he hugs everyone. We're family here. Just like you've read stories about families doing crazy things to cover up bad and even illegal behavior, you might be expected to do the same thing for your work family. Oh, I'm sure Ted didn't mean anything at the happy hour. you're just misreading the situation. How much did you have to drink? Maybe it's not going that far. I sincerely hope it is not going that far for you. But across all levels of the work-family toxic behavior, there is one thing that is very consistent. And it's probably true for you if you've made it this far in this video. If you're in a work setting where coworkers are family, or they're pretending to be, if you aren't part of that work family, you are being marginalized at work. You don't fit in with the work family. And maybe because of it, your coworkers don't even like you, or you're not being seen as a team player. And this can have a really big impact, not just on your job satisfaction, but also in your performance reviews, your career trajectory, and most importantly, even your confidence at work can be impacted. If you feel like you don't fit in, if you're in a highly political environment, dealing with a work family, when you're being shamed or judged for not fitting in with work family, or you're being targeted in workplace gossip, or maybe you're even being sabotaged at work by your so-called work family, it could really make you question if you're good enough to do the job that you do and lose sight of all of the opportunities around you. If this is a situation that you have found yourself in, you need to get clear on your awesomeness and confident AF. And I have a workshop that will help you begin that process, and it's totally free. I'm gonna leave the link in the description just in case you need it. And that brings me to this final point. And the marginalization and dysfunction of the work family is punctuated by this final point. Families don't have favorites. They don't give different amounts of money or inheritance. It's a big problem if they do. And they certainly don't fire each other. Well, at least families that aren't toxic don't. Your coworkers are not your family because there is a contingency built into that relationship. The fact that you work together. And in most cases, if you quit your job or otherwise leave the company, those relationships are going to fade. Sure, not in all cases. Maybe you do have coworkers who become true friends, or even coworkers who become your chosen family. But one of the things that the work family culture demands of you is loyalty, and you're not getting it in return. After all, business is business. It is not personal, which is the ultimate contradiction of the work family facade. Much of your job is not personal. At least it's not supposed to be. If you don't get picked to lead a project, it's not personal. The company's revenue is down and they can't give you that raise, that's not personal either. Or they don't have sufficient revenue and they have to make some difficult decisions and you get laid off. Well, that's not personal either. Right? How are you not supposed to take that personally when they've been pretending to be your work family the whole time? Now, if you are in camp, coworkers are my family and it is a good thing and it is serving you well and it's positive and productive, no judgments. You do you, my friend. No matter where you stand on this topic, I would actually love to hear your thoughts on the whole work family thing in the comments down below. And at this point, you might be realizing that not only are coworkers not your family, but you might be in a toxic AF workplace. If you think that that might be the case, go and check out this video right now where I break down all the signs of a toxic work environment. But before you go, if you enjoyed this video, if it helped inform you, if it made you think a little, give it a thumbs up. It really helps my channel and it makes you my favorite person. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and becoming one of my career besties. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.